Hey there. This video serves as an overview introduction of my method of leadership training to improve AI adoption for business transformation by reducing fear and building trust. I'm Bernie Borges, CEO of Fulfilled at Work Academy, and I want to be upfront about something. In a moment, you're going to see an explainer video that was generated using AI. Specifically, I used NotebookLM, which Google has since renamed Gemini Notebook. Now, I chose this AI-generated format over my usual PowerPoint presentation because, frankly, it's more interesting to watch. It's that simple. Now, I guided the AI, and as such, I'm really comfortable that it's an accurate representation of my method, which, incidentally, is called the Human Dividend. So go ahead and watch it, and I'll catch you on the other side of this explainer video.
Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to unpack a really critical issue that's popping up in organizations literally everywhere. We are going to explore exactly why treating your new AI rollout like a simple software update is, well, a massive leadership mistake. Okay, let's dive into this. Picture this scenario for a moment, right? You've invested the budget, you've got a rock-solid technology plan, and your AI rollout is perfectly on track. The tools are performing exactly as promised. So why is your team disengaging? Why are your absolute best performers suddenly growing quiet or even worse, just walking out the door? It's a baffling paradox for so many leaders. The technology completely delivers, yet the overall transformation, it completely underdelivers. Well, the answer to that paradox lies in this staggering number, 63%. Let that sink in. 63% of AI implementation challenges trace directly back to human factors, not technical limitations. Making AI work in your organization is definitely not just an IT challenge. It is a profoundly human leadership challenge.
So, here's our roadmap for today. We're going to hit 5 key areas. 1. The hidden AI adoption iceberg. 2. The fear tax phenomenon. 3. The 4-move leadership framework. 4. Conducting an AI trust audit. And finally, 5. Unlocking the human dividend.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the hidden AI adoption iceberg, or what lies beneath an AI rollout. To actually fix our AI initiatives, we first need to look way below the visible surface. It's kind of like a giant iceberg, right? On the visible surface, the part sticking out of the water, we have what leaders typically focus on. The technical specs, the AI tools, automation, efficiency gains. But below the surface, that's where the real drivers of success or failure are hiding. These are the invisible human elements that simply don't show up on standard dashboards. Trust, clarity, confidence, meaning, and adaptability. Think about it. If your employees lack trust, they're going to resist. If they lack clarity, they hesitate and just default back to their old ways of working. The visible stuff is purely technical, sure, but the elements that truly dictate your success, they are entirely human.
Which brings us to Section 2, the fear tax phenomenon. These are the invisible costs of AI adoption. It's time to warn you about the organizational costs that unfortunately never show up on an implementation dashboard. At the core of this issue is something called the fear tax. Simply put, this is the invisible drag on performance that accumulates when your team just doesn't trust the intent behind the new technology. Now, this fear tax causes a silent erosion of trust. It doesn't usually look like people shouting complaints in a town hall meeting. Instead, it shows up as delayed adoption, right? Slower replies to messages, guarded communication, and this overarching hesitation to even experiment with the very tools that are meant to help them. And because this fear is almost never spoken out loud, it becomes incredibly expensive to your organization.
Now, here's a twist that might actually catch you totally off guard. If your turnover is low right now, that might not be a sign of stability. Actually, it could be a really dangerous symptom known as job hugging. Because employees are anxious about AI screening tools, making the external job market intimidating, they grip tightly to their current role. They're terrified nothing better is out there, so they stay. But ask yourself, are they staying because they're loyal and engaged, or are they staying because they're just intimidated? When people job hug, they do the bare minimum and quietly disengage. You might think you're getting efficiency, but it's an efficiency totally devoid of real purpose. And leaders, let's be honest, we often make this fear so much worse by avoiding honest conversations. We fall into what are known as the 3 silence traps. Trap number 1 is don't validate it. This is where leaders mistakenly think bringing up AI anxiety directly is just going to legitimize it or make it worse. Trap number 2, I don't have all the answers. This happens when leaders stay quiet simply because they're scared of saying the wrong thing or committing to an unknown future. And trap number 3 is they'll come around, which is basically just crossing your fingers and hoping time magically fixes the issue. Avoiding these conversations drops you right into these traps, which literally only amplifies the anxiety. Your team is reading between the lines of everything you aren't saying, and that trust, it just slowly erodes away.
Let's move to and see how this builds into Section 3, the 4-move leadership framework. This is all about moving from fear to adaptability. Now, what's really interesting about this is how Bernie Borges' actionable solution synchronizes your business strategy directly with your human talent. The moves are simple, but they are incredibly powerful. Move 1, reduce fear. You absolutely have to address those underlying anxieties head-on. Move 2, create clarity. Paint a crystal clear picture of what the future actually looks like with this tech. Move 3, preserve meaning. Ensure your people know their human contribution still matters deeply. And move 4, build adaptability. Empower your team to evolve with the tools rather than feeling like they have to compete against them. By focusing on these 4 pillars, you're making sure the very people expected to adopt, trust, and execute the change are prepared to help it succeed.
So, to execute that first crucial move, reducing fear, leaders need a specific cadence. Step 1, acknowledge the reality of the situation without making people feel exposed. Just let them know, hey, the anxiety is totally normal. Step 2, anchor to honest conversations about what is actually changing and, just as importantly, what isn't. Set those realistic boundaries. And step 3, act on team feedback. You really don't need a perfectly finished rollout plan to start opening these closed doors today. Just start the conversation.
Moving right along to Section 4, conducting an AI trust audit. This is where we surface what your team isn't saying. This framework is a real game changer. It gives you the 5 exact trust audit questions you need to ask your team before an AI rollout. First is the relief question. Ask what draining tasks they genuinely wish AI could just do for them. Your intent here isn't just to make a list, it's to identify their energy leaks and instantly position AI as an ally, not a threat. Second, the identity question. Ask what work makes them feel most human and fulfilled. This shows you exactly what type of meaningful work you need to protect at all costs. Third is the transparency question. Ask about the biggest AI rumors they've heard recently. This immediately flushes out those silence traps we talked about and lets you correct any wild misinformation. Fourth, the capacity question. Ask what high-impact project they would lead if they suddenly had 5 extra hours a week. This question is brilliant. It pivots them from feeling like victims of automation into co-architects of their own future. And finally, the trust question. Ask them to honestly rate if the tech is here to help them or replace them. This gives you a hard truth metric of their true belief in your leadership. Asking these questions purposefully flushes out that fear tax. But please, pay close attention here, because the absolute biggest mistake a leader can make after performing a trust audit, actually, scratch that. It's the worst mistake you could possibly make is gathering all this great data and then just going quiet. You must close the loop to build trust. Acknowledge what you heard at your very next team interaction. Address the rumors directly and openly. And most importantly, measure the delta 30 days post-rollout. That measurable shift in your team's trust scores, that is exactly where your leadership impact is proven. And that brings us to our final phase, Section 5, unlocking the human dividend. We're moving from mere efficiency to elevation. And this brilliantly illustrates our next point, requiring a profound mindset shift. Efficiency is a means, not a meaning. This really bridges the gap from taking anxiety-reducing steps to a sobering realization. Look, simply making stretch teams faster is not a real strategy. Every single AI pitch out there promises efficiency. But if the capacity you free up is just immediately refilled with more mundane tasks, more busy work, and higher output expectations, your team is just as stretched as before. They just have fancier tools and a bigger, more exhausting to-do list. That is going to burn people out faster than ever. To turn that freed up time into a true human dividend, you need to kick off these 3 distinct conversations. First, the energy audit. Ask your team what they'd want to spend their time on if their most draining tasks were permanently gone. Second, the contribution conversation. What long-term impact do they actually want to be known for within the organization? And third, the future role conversation. How does their unique human contribution become even more critical as AI handles more of the baseline workflow? Keep in mind, guys, these are not performance reviews.
They are intentional leadership conversations designed to completely redesign the work around human meaning.
So the crucial point is, as you redesign this work, you absolutely must focus on 3 irreplaceable human capacities. Number 1 is discernment. AI can produce a massive amount of output in seconds, sure, but humans must be the ones to decide what to trust, what to refine, and what to challenge. Number 2 is relational intelligence. AI can easily simulate empathy in a little text box, but humans actually provide genuine empathy to navigate complex conflict and repair broken trust. Number 3 is purpose-driven judgment. AI optimizes against the set of programmed parameters, but humans connect those decisions to broader organizational values and the foundational why of the company. AI cannot replace these capacities. In fact, humans become significantly more valuable in the AI era exactly because of them.
I want to leave you with this stark reminder. Your team is navigating this whether you measure it or not. The human side of this massive transformation is happening right now. It's happening in your hallways, in side channels, and in private chats, completely regardless of what your shiny tech dashboard says. So I'll leave you with this final provocative thought to take back to your organization. You have an AI technology plan, but are you brave enough to build a human-led AI transformation? The AI tools will inevitably give you efficiency, for sure, but whether you step up to master the human side of the future of work, that is entirely up to your leadership. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep focused on leading with purpose.
So there you have it. You just watched a solid introduction to the human dividend approach that reduces fear and improves adoption for measurable business transformation. But here's the thing. This video only covers the what you should do. My role is to guide you through the how it actually gets done in your unique situation. And I've got 2 ways that you can explore that. The free version is my AI People Readiness Pulse. It's a free 8-question assessment that gives you insight into where your people are across the 4 moves that you just learned about. I also offer a paid version called the Human Dividend Assessment. This is 16 questions, 4 of which are open-ended, and it includes 2 calls with me. And the deliverable is a tailored action plan for AI adoption for your team. In the notes section for this video, you'll find links to both the free AI People Readiness Pulse and the paid Human Dividend Assessment. Thanks for watching my video overview of the Human Dividend, a leader's guide to human-led AI transformation. I wish you success in your business transformation journey.